Now, there are just a few days to go before an election that could determine the destiny of the whole of Europe. If the polls are to be believed, German Chancellor Angela Merkel is assured of a fourth term. The results will be watched almost as closely in Athens as they are in Berlin. Mrs Merkel's hard stance on dealing with the Greek debt crisis has meant multiple bailouts and years of austerity. Well, I'm joined now by Dimitri Papadimitriou, who is Greece's economy minister. So good evening to you, sir.
Good evening.
Mrs Merkel has made life very difficult for the average Greek citizen over the last few years and her government. How would Athens welcome another term of her?
Well, it's not appropriate for me to say whether this is going to be good or bad. I think that Mrs Merkel has been very helpful in some cases, and I think she will continue to be a friend and a member of the Eurozone, and the Greek government will work with her if she's the new chancellor.
You still regard Germany as a friend, even after all they've put the Greeks through over the years?
I think that, we are in the Eurozone, and Germany has helped Greece in one way. There have been difficult times, clearly, but I think that we are in for the betterment of Europe and the Eurozone. There's some difference of opinion, clearly, about the difficulties that the Greek people have gone, and these are actually serious difficulties. But on the other hand, as we have seen of late, there is an interest that we solve the Greek crisis, and I think we are on the road to recovery.
Well, the market certainly seems to agree with you. I mean, the market is putting in a lower probability of a Greek default than it has at any time in the last 3 years. I mean, can you definitively say a corner has been turned for Greece?
Absolutely, I can say that. I think if you look at any of the economic variables, you'll see they're all in an upward trend. Growth has come into Greece, both in 2 quarters that we have seen. And all indications is that Greece is going to have a real growth rate of around 2%. It's 1.8 that's been suggested in the forecast, but we think that we will be at 2% and probably most likely 3% next year.
Now, the current €86 billion bailout expires August next year. Are you confident that you'll have met all of the conditions that were attached to that by then?
As you know, we're going through a third review process. We are very confident by the November Eurogroup meeting we will have completed, if not all, most of them. And therefore, I think we will not have the difficulty that we had in the previous review, which took much longer than it should have.
And yet the European Central Bank's country chief in Greece has warned only as recently as this weekend that he's worried about potential backtracking.
Well, I think that the governor of Greece has his own view, but I think we have shown that we can deliver what we have agreed, and this is what we'll continue to do. We are very consistent in delivering exactly what we have agreed.
You mentioned the recent growth rates, 2 consecutive quarters of growth, as you say. When does that start feeding through into markedly lower unemployment rates? I mean, the jobless rate is still 21%.
But you have to look at what happened since 2016 and 2015. And I think that the unemployment rate has come down more than 5.5%. It's slow coming down, but it is coming down. And the government is actually concentrating on particular active labor market policies to have a much bigger effect in the unemployment rate. But growth in employment is very important. And I think that that shows that Greece has turned the corner, is on the growth path, and it shows its vibrancy.
No, yeah. In July, you raised $3 billion on bond markets. I mean, that was Greece's first bond raising for quite some years. Are there going to be others in the coming months?
Well, it's not clear when it's going to happen. Certainly there will be some debt management, but certainly next year we will be back in the market because it will be the end of the Memorandum of Understanding, which would then have to be able to refinance our own bonds.
All right, Dimitri Papadimitriou, we've got to leave it there, I'm afraid. Thank you very much for joining me.
Appreciate it. Yes, very much.